one thing about Travis was like, he put recruiting function as one of the frontline functions. You know, usually companies would put sales first, right? Because I mean, it's a revenue driver.
Right.
But Travis actually like prioritized recruiting. So like operations function, obviously most important, but recruiting was like equally as important. So
And you knew that because he spent time on it.
correct. He would spend time with the recruiting team, and you know, he will give us an hour every week just with the recruiting function. He wants to hear what's working, what's not. And when you're recruiting for that type of founder or leader, like, yeah, I mean, it's you recruiting becomes fun, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think like Travis did a really good job, and he still is a big fan of like recruiting, and that's why I think he's.
What did you learn from him in terms of recruiting? Like, did he have some other unique ideas about having people who were super pumped? Was, you know, his, you know, either you're super pumped or you're not here kind of a situation? Like,
Yeah.
and how did you test for that? Because, like, maybe some people are performative and they're extroverts and they would do very well on a super pumped kind of, you know, interview over video or even in person, but that might be performative, not reality when they get on the job. And somebody who's introverted, who, you know, how do you know that they're super pumped?
Yeah.
How do you filter for something weird like that?
Yeah, I think Travis was quite open about like different functions. So like, you know, everybody's different, right? Like if you're a salesperson, you're naturally extrovert.
Yeah.
If you're an engineer, maybe you're more not like the talking type. So he kind of understood that. And how we assess like the culture fit of super pumped is like, do you ride Uber, or like, do you, I don't know, share promo codes, or like, tell me about Uber. How much do you know about Uber? Why are you interested in Uber, right? The more they can say, obviously, they're super interested.
So they've done their research. When they're in that process, they have ideas. They're super pumped to get the job, and they're following up with you, et cetera.
Yeah, but he also didn't want someone who's just gonna like do things. He wanted someone who is willing to push boundaries. So like, see like how much can they like push to like, you know, they don't want to just be stuck in a box, right? Like if you are asked to launch a city and if you're like, oh, we can't do this because of this like, no, you have to have that mentality. Aggressive.
We're gonna win no matter what.
We're gonna change the world. If you have that safe mentality, Uber's not for you, right?
How did you deal with mistakes? Because when you're hiring, you have a couple of days, couple of weeks to make a decision, and you're gonna make mistakes. What was his instruction, and what have you learned that you've carried forward in terms of when you make a mistake, you realize you hired the wrong person, getting them out?
Yeah, so in the US, or at least in the West, I think, you know, firing someone or letting them go is a lot easier than Japan. So actually, like, when you're hiring in Japan, it's a lot more difficult because, like, it's hard for employers to fire in Japan.
What do they have to do?
Oh, if you want to fire someone in Japan?
Yeah.
Well, there's different ways,
Right.
tactical ways. But of
Such
course,
as? Yeah.
well, there's one of this thing that's
Not
like,
relating to any of your prior work experience, but
Yeah, of
what would
course.
be things that people would talk about
Yeah.
if we were having drinks with a bunch of
Sure.
HR people in Japan? What would they say
Yeah.
are the backdoor ways to do this?
yeah, so one of the big corporations would do is like they will make a new department, say like, hey, we're gonna launch like Malaysia, like you wanna, you know, it's a new business, business vertical. I think you should run it. Open the function, get them to be like the launcher or whatever it is, and they're like, hey, we're shutting down the function, so bye, basically.
So you put all of the weak people on a boat, and you send them out to sea,
Oh, you don't want to do it that obvious, but
and
yeah,
then you sink the boat.
pretty much. I mean, there's different ways, but yeah, that's one of the big corp moves. But
So create a division and then shut the division.
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Yep. But generally, it's really hard to fire in Japan. So and this is for U.S. companies as well, like foreign tech startups in Japan. When they hire in Japan, they're a lot more careful.
You can't have an effective sales team without an effective and, above all, organized sales process. Trust me on this one. I've seen thousands of startups basically fail because they had messy, chaotic systems in the sales department. It's one of the biggest red flags there is. This Week in Startups, it's about helping founders. So I want to tell you about the tool we use to stay organized here on This Week in Startups. It's called Pipedrive. They bring your entire sales process together in one clear, easy to understand, and centralized space, giving you just one place to check for all the customers and deal information you need. I'm a big fan of data, right? Especially here at This Week in Startups. So teams that use Pipedrive close an average of 3 times more deals every month. It could be you. Join over 100,000 companies using Pipedrive. And when you use our link, you're going to get a 30-day free trial. No credit card or payment is needed. Just go to pipedrive.com/twist to get started. That's pipedrive.com/twist.